And so welcome to the Paul Clark podcast. Comic Con. For that, dear listener, is the subject of today's podcast. Comic Con. There can't be anyone out there now that doesn't know what Comic Con is. There can't be. And judging from the turnout today, judging from the turnout of people that attended today's MCM Comic Con that I was at the NEC here in Birmingham, I can believe that there's no one out there now that doesn't know what Comic Con is. I mean, wow. Just wow. It was off the Richter scale. Let me tell you that. And I'm somebody who has attended Comic Cons in London, in the capital. And let me tell you, folks, London has got nothing. London has got nothing on the NEC here in Birmingham and what I saw today. Now, I was actually very lucky to get in because what I usually do, if I know that I'm going to a convention, if I know that I'm going to Comic Con, I will pre-book in advance. But I had no intention of going to this particular Comic Con. No intention at all. But I found out pretty much at the last minute that Peter Davison, the actor who played the Fifth Doctor in Doctor Who, I found out that he was going to be at this particular Comic Con. So I sort of reluctantly turned up on the day, sort of last minute really. I didn't really have the money, to be completely honest with you. In fact, I'm a little bit in somewhat of an overdraft because of this one. But I just rocked up on the day. Now, a few years ago, you could do that, no problem, and pretty much just waltz in. But now, no way. No way. I mean, just a little bit of a backstory here. When I first started attending conventions, it was at the NEC in Birmingham. And it wasn't called Comic Con back then, though. It was called the Memorabilia. And that pretty much sort of covered everything. From films and TV and comic books, but also other special interests like trains and cars and model aeroplanes. It was all kind of included. And, you know, you'd get a good turnout back then. You'd get probably a good couple of hundred people. But now, you get tens of thousands, if not millions of people turning up for these Comic-Con events. And just rocking up on the day without having pre-booked a ticket is a very risky business indeed. A very risky business. And I just about got in. And I mean just about. By the skin of my teeth, I just about got into this Comic-Con because tickets were very, very scarce. They were selling out, basically. They were selling out. They were going like hotcakes. It was unbelievable, and it was ram-packed. It was ram-packed. And of course, because I wasn't planning on going to this Comic-Con, I actually didn't have any cash on me. So I only realised when I turned up that, oh, wait, shit, I haven't actually got any cash on me. Where's the nearest cash machine? So, first of all, I had to wait in the queue. Luckily, I could pay for my entry ticket by debit card. That wasn't a problem. But then, when I got in to the actual arena, I was like, oh, wait, damn, I actually haven't got any cash. So I had to actually physically go outside and find a cash machine. So I had to go all the way round to the other side of the arena, find the cash machine, which actually charged me for the privilege, something about £1 or something, or $2.99 a charge. And the queue for that was even longer than the bloody queue to get the entry tickets for Comic-Con. It was a shambles. It was crazy. Partly my own fault, because, as I say, I mean, I pre-planned this, and normally I do. Normally I pre-plan. Normally I prepare myself for these conventions, because I know I'm going. But this one was literally put together at the last minute. But I think I've reached a point now, guys, with me and Comic-Con, where I think I'm more near the end than the beginning. Look, I don't want to sound like, someone's granddad here, piping a smoke, sitting in a dinner jacket or something, going, you young whippersnappers with your Comic-Con and your cosplayers, let me tell you of the days of old. I don't want to start sounding like that, because I think these Comic-Con events now, I mean, they're like festivals, right? These conventions, and that's great. That's great. I love the fact that they're all inclusive, and there's people there covering the entire spectrum of film and TV and comic books and pop culture. I think it's great. But it has become a bit too self-indulgent for me now. A bit too self-indulgent. Whereas it's almost like now, the celebrities that you get there, like Peter Davison and so on, are almost second fiddle now. They're almost like an afterthought. And the TV shows in themselves, and the films, and the comic books are like an afterthought for these fans. Because it's all about them now. It's all about them, and look at me, aren't I great in my cosplay? Aren't I great, in my Superman cape? Or here I am dressed as Wonder Woman. Don't I look stunning? Yeah, you do, love. You look great. You look beautiful. But I'm not here for you. I'm here to see the guy who used to be Doctor Who, so if you could just let me go, thank you. I mean, a similar incident like that actually happened today. I knew that this Comic-Con was going to be a very much a packed-out affair when I got on the train, and all I could see was just the whole carriage was cosplayers. The whole carriage was cosplayers, including myself, by the way. I'm not going to lie, including myself. I was in the Tom Baker coat with the Tom Baker scarf, so I was part of it, I guess. But it was ram-packed. Ram-packed. There was no doubt in whatsoever that I was heading in the right direction. And I got sitting next to some people, and one was dressed as some character from X-Men, and the other was dressed as Batman, and we got into the flow of a conversation, which was quite cool. But I wanted to talk about Batman, and I wanted to talk about X-Men, and I wanted to talk about why they love those shows and what their favourite episodes are, because I love nothing more than when people come up to me when I'm in my whole cosplay look, when I'm in my Tom Baker coat with the Tom Baker scarf, and they'll ask me what my favourite episode is. I love that, because I can say to them, well, my favourite Doctor episodes are things like the Daleks' Master Plan. I love the Stephen Moffat era of Doctor Who. I love waxing lyrical about other people's work and other people's genius and creativity. I mean, anyone that knows me knows that I can talk about Stephen Moffat's brilliance between now and the end of time, pretty much. I just love that guy so much. But I don't want to talk about me. But that's what happened. That's what happened with these guys. One was dressed, as I say, from some character from the X-Men, and the other was dressed as Batman. And they were talking about themselves, like people were coming to see them. Like people were coming to see them. They were the celebrities. Look at me. Here's how long it took me to make my costume. Okay, great. That's fine. But then tell me what your favourite comic edition of the X-Men is. Couldn't tell me. And they were getting like their mobile phones out and stuff, and showing me pictures of them from previous conventions. Now, I don't mind that. If you're showing me a picture of you with, say, Patrick Stewart or something, or David Tennant, or Stephen Amell, or Grant Gustin, or that's impressive. That's impressive. I like seeing those pictures. I love showing my friends a picture of me with Peter Davison. I love nothing more than that. But I'm not going to show them just a picture of me, because it's boring. It's boring. Just a picture of me at a convention, just doing a pose. Actually, to be fair, I have done it once, actually. But it wasn't a convention, okay? It wasn't at a convention. It was with my friend, and we were in London. And I got him to take some snaps of me outside Buckingham Palace, dressed as Tom Baker's doctor. I mean, I'm a hypocrite here, I guess. But I would like to think that I have my tongue firmly planted in my cheek when I do that stuff. And I like to think I'm a bit more humble about it than some of the people I came into contact with today. I don't know. I just think there's a... I think it's, as I say, it's now at a point where Comic Cons have become a self-indulgent thing, and they're less about the celebrities there, and fundamentally the comics and the TV shows and the films that inspire these people to dress up as these characters, and it's more about them. But maybe I'm just a grumpy old fart at this point. But I do think back to the days when it was just the memorabilia at the NEC, and it was a very sort of tight, sort of niche affair. And it was very niche in some ways, very niche. Kind of miss those days a little bit, guys. Kind of miss them, if I'm being completely honest here. But I like the fact, though, that, you know, geek culture, as it were, comic books, film and TV shows, it's become acceptable now to geek out over that stuff. Because I do think generally we are living in the golden age of TV now. I mean, this evening after I've done this podcast, I've got Supergirl to watch, I've got The Flash to watch, I've got Arrow to watch, I've got a ton of Legends of Tomorrow to catch up on. So I think it's a great time to be a geek, to be a fan of television. But I attend those conventions like Comic-Con to praise people's work, like Stephen Amell, like Melissa Benoist, like Peter Capaldi, like Stephen Moffat. I want them to know that I love them. I want them to know that I appreciate their hard work. But I don't need people to appreciate me. I don't go there for self-indulgent reasons. Please tell me how great my Doctor Who scarf is. I mean, look, I'll just, giving you sort of an insight into my mind, into my process when I'm walking around that convention hall, as it were. When I'm cosplaying away, I look at it like a football match. You know when you're walking down, say, Upton Park or somewhere, or you're walking past Birmingham City Football Club on a Saturday afternoon, and you see the fans with the Aston Villa scarves and the t-shirts. That's what Comic-Con is for me. That's what me dressing up as the Fourth Doctor, dressing up as Tom Baker is. That's what that is for me. It's basically saying, look, I'm a Doctor Who fan. I'm here to celebrate what I think, personally, is the greatest TV show ever devised. Genuinely, I believe that. An amazing TV show with an amazing character. And I want people to know that I'm kind of an out and proud Doctor Who fan. But I don't want people to praise me. I don't need to be praised for it because this convention isn't about me. But I guess people see things in different ways. I don't know. But Comic-Con, to see where it's been, where it was, used to be the memorabilia and now it's a big event. It's quite it's something, to say the least. It's something. It's grown and metamorphosized into a big, powerful beast, a big festival. Comic-Con. Thanks for listening.